Hello everyone, and welcome to Math 1324, Section 0190. This is Math for Business and Social Sciences, and it is an 8-week course, so we're going to hit the ground running, and we've got a lot to do in 8 weeks. My name's Terry Barnes, and I'll be with you on this really quick journey. It is doable. We do it every semester, and people finish it in 8 weeks, but you really do have to get busy and keep busy to make sure you get it all done. So I wanted to take this opportunity in the video to show you what the course looks like, how it's set up, and what are the expectations. So first thing, up here is your nav bar, and you will click here to get your homework and test, and you'll click here to see your grade book. If you want to check on your attendance, or you want to use the Brightspace gradebook, it is in here, but this is the one that I think I would check on most often. Your announcements are here, and so always check the announcement part. I will do announcements at least once a week on Saturday or Sunday for the following week, so be sure you check there. Let's see, let's just go through some of the items in the content, and you can get everything you need, I think, over here. You could go to content here, but I pulled out things that I wanted for you. So let's first look at the syllabus, the instructor plan. I'm not going to read all of it, but kind of go through and show you some important things. Excuse me. So here is some contact information. I have that in several places within the course, but here's my office number, my office location. I have another place where I list the office hours. You do not have to have a hard copy textbook. This is an IA course, Inclusive Access. That means when you pay tuition, you have an electronic book that will be provided in the course. You do need an 8384 graphing calculator. If you don't have one, there are some phone apps that will work really well. But if you do have one, that will be helpful. This is an outliner schedule, but we're going to look at that when we look at the calendar. Grading. My course is divided into homework, tests, and final exam. The homework counts 30% of your total average, and you can do your homework over and over again until you get the grade you want, which I would hope would be 100. So keep that in mind. Test. There are 5 tests and a comprehensive final. Tests count 50% of your final average. So homework 30, test 50. And this red part's important. Before each test is available online or face-to-face, all the homework for that chapter has to be completed with at least a 70. So you have to have passed your homework in order for the test to open. The final exam counts 20% of your final average. I think that is the main things that I wanted to speak to you about, but I would read through here and talk about things, and I mean, look at what the attendance policy is, that sort of thing. But for my online course, I've kind of got it here. In this course, it's based on participation as far as attendance. You must work each week, either on a homework or a test. If you do not complete work in a week, and if you don't do something in that week, that counts as an absence. You are allowed 2 of those weeks. Since this is an 8-week course, that's a 4th of the course. If you receive a 3rd absent, you could be dropped for attendance issues. It's real easy to stay off that attendance list. Just work on something each week, which honestly, if you're in an 8-week course, you need to be doing that anyway. All right, let's look at some other items. So there's some important student resources. You could look at that. Here is that schedule and office door, the door schedule. So if we look here, this is when I am on campus. I'm only on campus Tuesdays and Thursdays, and here's the times for that and what room I'd be teaching in, and the rest of the time I'm teaching online. My office number is 210. My extension is right here. On Tuesdays, I would have an office hour 7:30 to 8 before class, and 1 to 4 p.m. In the afternoon. Thursday, 7:30 to 8, and then an hour, 11:30 to 12:30. On Mondays, I can Zoom by request. If you put in a request for me to meet, we could meet from between 9 and 11. I would need to hear from you about that. So, and then if you just email me during the week and have questions, we can certainly visit at any point. So that's my availability. Now let's look at the calendar. So here's our 8-week calendar, and there's 8 weeks listed. And you'll note there's no dates. That's because everything in the course is available day 1, and everything is ultimately due down here the 8th week. So this is a broken down suggested schedule, if you will. So in week 1, there's 4 sections that I suggest you try to do. Now that's a lot to do in a week. I get that, but it's a lot to finish in half a semester as well. So this is just a suggestion of how to break it apart. If, say, in week 2, you only get 2 things done, there's no penalty for that. It just means you're going to have a lot more to do in week 3. Or maybe in week 2, you had a lot of extra time and you went ahead and did some of this. It doesn't matter. This is a suggestion, but this is all the work that has to be done. Here's your tests, here's your homework, and here's your final exam. So again, a suggested schedule. All right, back here, there's another place with my contact info, so you could look there. Handouts. If we look here at handouts, if you are struggling with some of the algebra that's in the course, and there is some, this is a packet of information that I hand out to my college algebra classes, so there may be some good information there. Here's a sheet just on matrices, which we encounter in the first part of the course. Chapter 3, we have some linear programming and some graphing, and there's some graphs and grids and charts for that. This is a form that I worked out to help with that. There's formulas for Chapter 7, Venn diagrams, Chapter 10 formulas and notes, and that's it. So as we progress, as you progress, look over here and see if there's anything that might help you with that particular section. And then if we go back to home, so that's handouts. Your e-text is right here, so if you need the book, you can go there, but I've really pulled out the things out of the book that I want you to have. Here is the big stuff: problem sets, lectures, videos. If we click there, I've got everything as a resource set out in these 3 items. Problem sets, let's look here. Start with Chapter 2, 2.1. So this is some blank problems. Think of it as if you were in class and I said, turn to page 25, let's look at some work. These are the problems that I want you to know how to do. And right now you may not know how to do any of this, but that's what we're going to cover. So we've done that. Now we go get the lecture notes. So here's the lecture notes. Again, a set for each chapter. We'll take Chapter 2, go to 2.1. This is what we would be getting in the class and the notes we would be taking if you were in the face-to-face class. And then once we get down here, here's that set of problems, except they're worked and the answers are there. So you can go through there, and you could figure out by looking at that what we did. Now, most people need a little bit of verbal communication on that. So, and note that there are 7 questions. I actually have 2 different number 7s depending on what problem you actually get in the course. But let's go back and look now at the video list, because now you've got the written notes and the problems. So when we come back up here, we've got video lecture playlists. I have a YouTube channel dedicated to 1324. And so each chapter has videos. So if we go here, so you can see there's 2.1 and there's actually 2 videos for that. I think this one cut off. So there's all of the sections, and it'll be me talking through the work. And so you have, let's talk about what we've got. We've got a set of problems, lecture notes with the work of those problems, and then a video talking about how those problems are worked. We have that for every section that you are to cover. So now, once you've done that, say you've done everything for 2.1, you've looked at it, you've worked through it, you've watched the video, now you can go up here to homework and tests, and all of your homework and tests should come up as clickable links. And so they're right here. And actually, these did not come up that way. Hang on just 1 minute. Okay, I got that fixed, and now we're looking like we need to. So when you click on homework and tests, everything's a clickable link, and this shows the due date. Now, if you'll note, every single thing is due April 30th. And that's not correct either. Okay, hang on. Okay, well, we have everything fixed, I think. So all the due dates are when this course ends, which is 8 weeks, and so that makes it February 27th at 11:59 p.m. That's when everything will close. If you note the little green flags, that tells you you have to have scored 70% on these items up here, or that test will not open for you. The test, you have 2 hours and 2 tries. The higher of the grade will be the one that figures in your average. So if you take it the first time and you make an A on it, great. You don't take it a second time. If you take it and you make a 70, but you want to try for an 80 or a 90, take it again. The higher the grade will stand. Chapter 3 and 4, you get 2.5 hours. It's a little bit more work. And then chapter 7 is 2 hours, chapter 8, 9, 2 hours, chapter 10, 2 hours. There is no chapter test for chapter 11 homework, but some of that may show up on the final, so you need to do those homeworks. The final exam is 2.5 hours. You only have one shot at it, so you want to really prepare for that. We'll talk about that as we get closer to that. Let's look at this one that we looked at through the problem sets, 2.1. So there were 7 questions that we looked at in the problem set and the lecture notes. So here we go. Question 1. This is going to look like the question 1 that you had in the problem set and that we worked in the lecture notes and in the video. So when you're ready to answer it, if you click here, this says type an ordered pair. Well, when you click in this box down here at the bottom, you get some icons. You might need something with an exponent or a square root. Here's an ordered pair, so if I just click that, I now don't have to worry about my parentheses, my comma, because it'll count it wrong if you don't do an ordered pair. So I'm just going to pick some numbers, 2 and 9, and I'm going to say I think that's my answer, and I'm going to check my answer. Nope, and it's going to give you some information on how to try again. I'm just going to try one more time, same idea. Now the last time, it's saying final check. So I'm going to hit final check. When you do that, if it's right, you'll get the credit for it. If not, it says that's incorrect. Here's what the right answer is. This is what you put. So you can look at it and try to figure out what you did wrong. If you're ready to try again, go ahead and hit similar question, and it just generates new numbers. If you don't want to fool with it, then you could just go on to the other questions and come back to that one later. But you can keep trying till you get it correct. So that's how that goes. On question 7, there's this question about stock, and I think I have we have lecture notes on that, or there's another possible number 7 that could show up. So I think I've covered both bases. But that's how the homework will work, and you can close it, and it saves automatically, but if you want to hit save, you could do there. One other thing to show you down here at the bottom, this Get More Help. You could go to the textbook if you wanted to, although I've given you the notes that I think you need. You could look at calculator help, but here's the big one, Ask My Instructor. If you click that, you get a generated email that's coming straight to me telling me which question you're on, and you can enter your information here. I've tried this, Ms. Barnes. What else can I do? Or can you help me get by this? Whatever you want to say. it comes directly to me for this specific question. So when you need help on a question, this is the best method for me to get the information back to you. So you would hit send, I would get it, and I would try to get back to you as quickly as I can. So that's how that would work. We're going to close out of that. All right, let's see what else. The other thing is in the grade book. If you go in here, it's always going to be up to date. Right now I have a 0 because I didn't get any credit. Here shows me my score, how much time I spent, when I started, when I worked. And I will see all of this for all of your work. And over here is kind of a bar graph. This says I worked on 1 out of 32 homeworks. The quiz is your final exam. The tests are listed here. So as you take them, the bar will go this way and it may say 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. So you'll always kind of know where you are, and your average will show up right here. So you don't ever have to say, Ms. Barnes, what's my grade? You'll always know what your grade is. So I think that really is the overview of the course. Let me go back to the front. So here we are, and if you need anything, do not hesitate to email me. You can call my office, and if I'm there, I will answer it. If I'm not there, it'll convert it to an email, and I will get that. But you can contact me anytime, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm here to help you get through this journey. Let me know if you need anything.